Yeah, we implemented the technology in bottling plants in sizes of 45 million bottles produced a week, where we apply cold sterilization in an effective way, where we got rid of aseptic processes through cold sterilization applications in critical points. So wherever there is a need for, in gray areas where there is a need for pathogen control and risk for contaminants, we apply biostel solutions, or the anode water, in a sense, in a very dilute form with a benchmark of 1 to 3 log reduction potential applications in various different areas through the production of those beverages. Then we have meat production, where it is applied in all the different areas, and it is a supplementary application to whatever has been applied so far. That means we analyze based on the HACCP program in place where the critical points are, and enhance the ability to increase shelf life through reducing contamination in those gray areas. So that means we have places where we do aerosol application, we do spot application in different areas, and then we do eventually the evaluation of the product integrated into the systems in place according to the customer and its programs they're running. Vegetable processing, it's always a need where there is a transfer from the farm to the market, where farmers do their own vegetable processing and try to get it to the market in a certain time period, and shelf life is always an issue that comes right back to the liability of the farmers. And I guess we've seen it the best right now with the cucumber issues in Europe, where it has a huge impact into the market and basically kills the market based on contaminations. Fruit processing is basically kind of the same like beer and beverage production. It is high in organic matters, and it shows that productivity is related to, if you have fruit processing and you have spills, it reflects in production costs, and therefore we're looking for a process that is, first of all, cost effective and is integratable into systems, so they wouldn't have to do big capital investments in a way and still add value to their product with less chemicals, preservation materials involved.
So if we move into farm production, we have farms again in Europe, and go back to David's talk earlier this morning, like the consumer culture and the regulations as reflected by the consumer culture in different areas of the world are very different. And so in Europe, they've come under a lot of pressure around the use of some of the tools that we traditionally have used, and they've been searching right at the production level for how can we get a tool that will allow us to work. And so BioStel has been introduced into poultry operations, and it depends on the poultry operation where and how they introduce it. Again, it's their situation. And poultry and eggs, Ivo, turkeys, ducks, pork production, certainly a big way, dairy production, beef production, and so they've actually taken this back down the value chain, if you will, to the producer and started using this same technology with a different situation because it's still antimicrobial. And then also the transportation, Ivo, maybe you would just talk about the cooling trailers and the livestock trailers.
In transportation, there's always a challenge, because the problem or the reality in industry is that it is a fast-moving industry, and product is getting transported in trailers that are They should be cleaned, they should be sanitized, but the material to be used, it's corrosive, it's hard to use, it takes time to apply it, and it's a challenge in industry that the implementation is in a gray area. And we've been able to deal with customers that apply the technology in their processing plant to take the same products produced on site, produce a non-corrosive, effective sanitizer that could be implemented in their cleaning and sanitizing process of their transportation technology systems that they have.
Okay. The next slide will show us bottling plant application in Germany. And so in that first picture, we have the production unit on the left. It's housed in a slightly different housing than the earlier picture that you saw. And so it's produced on site. The tank on its right is where it's being diluted and mixed to the strength that they want for their application. The next picture shows it now it's being taken out to the critical points. In this case, through the hosing. So it's that simple. So it's an existing system, and this was installed on top of it. And the next slide will show us, actually now we're getting down to the point of application. And so in this case, there's a stainless steel nozzle there, or misting nozzle. And this bottling firm, this engineering firm in Germany that we're now working with, they have patents on many different application nozzles, etc. And this just gives you an idea of the scale of a plant that this particular application is taking part in.
Maybe just to cut in here,
yes,
to tell about another project we're presently doing in the UK is in the fish processing industry, where they're very sophisticated in their processes, but they're fully aware that shelf life starts to be an issue as more as they get global with marketing their products. And we've been asked to come in to consult with them to help them to improve their preservation of their product. So they have a certain shelf life, they know they have processing water they deal with, they know the processing water quality isn't evaluated on an ongoing basis, and they brought us in to evaluate the fact if we can be integrated in their process without changing the process and help them to introduce a sanitizing step that will improve the product quality.
So where are we at in Canada? And basically in 2009, or February 2009, we have a CFIA letter of no objection for biostyle anode water to be applied directly on hard surfaces in food processing plants. And in January of this year, of 2011, with the support of ALMA, we submitted an application to CFIA once again for direct application of biostyle anode water on red and white meat. And we have a meeting in Ottawa with CFIA and Health Canada next week. So that's coming to the table now. And so what we want to do is get the necessary approvals in place so that ultimately our desired outcome is we want to have a product that's practical, cost-effective, and readily integrates into existing systems. We want it, something that can be employed all along the value chain, because they're doing that in Europe for sure, and is acceptable to both consumers, both on and offshore. And that goes back to David's talk this morning. Like, the consumer is the person with the dollar. And we have lots of effective tools, but we don't necessarily get to use them because of perceptions. So we're trying to bring a tool to the market that, okay, it's acceptable. Thank you very much.